Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. The Inspector General of Police Special Intervention Squad has vowed to sustain the heat on bandits and kidnappers in the nation's capital space to restore confidence and security in the areas. Onoti Yakubu, who has been following the operations, brings us an update now.
From the force headquarters, the squad marked its presence in Kurudu, where 2 persons were recently kidnapped at the Army Post Service Housing Estate. Afterwards, the patrol maneuvered through Orozo axis and as well traveled tens of kilometers through villages such as Chorimbisa and Gugugi Pesa, among others. A strong intelligence ignited the narrowing of the squad's patrol through the routes.
Intelligence at disposal is that is a kidnapper's route. So we took all the routes to make sure that nothing happens, and they didn't continue the act of kidnapping. That is why we have our drone, we have our binoculars, and we are climbing and viewing to ensure there's no camp, there's no kidnappers camp or bandit camp around at our back of FCT.
With sustained vigor, Commissioner of Police Bennett Igwe says the squad has 4 operational rules of engagement against the kidnappers and other criminals terrorizing FCT thus.
The Inspector General of Police is ready for them. So that's the message we want to send. And they should either find a way, because in this operation we have only 4-point agenda for the criminals, for the bandits, for the kidnappers. The first our operation, the first module is either you shoot us or we shoot you. That is one. Either you die, or you are in prison when we catch you and take you to court, or you are in our cell, or you are on the run.
It is nightfall, so the team retreats to pick up the operational trays at the dawn of the next morning. Onoti Yakubu, NTA.
And still on security, in a continued effort to rid the FCT of criminality, police operatives attached to Ido Divisional Headquarters on Sunday rescued another kidnapped victim, one Suleiman Sabo, from kidnappers' den in Sauka along the airport road in Abuja. During the rescue operation, 32-year-old Mohammed Abel was equally apprehended in possession of a rifle with 10 rounds of live ammunition. The victim, who sustained some injuries from the kidnappers, is currently receiving medical attention and will be reunited with his family once certified fit by the medical team. The Commissioner of Police, FCT, CP Haruna Garba, wishes to reiterate the command's commitment to rid the FCT of criminality in all its manifestations while maintaining peace. On the judiciary scene, the Federal High Court has restrained Governor Siminalayi Fubara from interfering with the operations of the Rivers State House of Assembly and its finances. Justice James Omotosho gave the verdict in a suit filed by the erstwhile Speaker of the State Assembly, Martin Amewule. Olapade Arewa reports.
Political instability had engulfed Rivers State in the last quarter of last year, culminating in the emergence of 2 factional speakers in the Rivers State House of Assembly and an alleged arson attack on a section of the state legislative building. The erstwhile Speaker of the House, Martin Amewule, in protection of his fundamental human rights and the preservation of the independence of the State Assembly as a separate arm of government, approached the court for the interpretation of certain provisions of the state law and the Constitution. In a landmark judgment, the Federal Court held that some provisions of the Rivers State House of Assembly Establishment Commission Act forbids the state governor or his agents from interfering with the state legislature's operations, its finances, recruitments or employments, as supported also by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Justice Omotosho also restrained the National Assembly from taking over the functions of the Rivers State Assembly in line with the principle of separation of power. The court equally held that conditions precedent for the National Assembly to take over a state legislature were not present in this case. The court observed that after parties had joined issues in the case, Governor Fubara withdrew his pleadings, therefore he cannot enjoy any rights in the matter.
All said and done, the court has restated the law as to the separation of powers of the various organs of government.
During the period of the crisis in Rivers State, the Martin Awewule faction defected to the APC, prompting a faction led by Edison Heye to take over the activities of the assembly. In a consequential verdict, the court set aside the 2024 appropriation bill purportedly passed by a faction and ordered a fresh proposed budget to be presented to the assembly. In Abuja, Olabode Arewa, NTA News.
The ongoing reconstruction of 15-kilometer Eleme on the axis of the East-West Road is recording steady progress. The road, which is a very busy commercial route linking several industries, including the Port Harcourt refinery and on an oil and gas-free trade zone, has over the years remained a very been a very deplorable state. And our correspondent Joy Uzo has been following developments around that, so she brings us this background report.
For those regularly plying Eleme on air axis of the East-West Road in Port Harcourt, particularly heavy-duty truck drivers, similar to the access route to Apapa Port in Lagos, the road is pivotal to accessing one of the thriving seaports in the country, on air oil and gas free trade zone and Port Harcourt refinery. There is high volume of heavy-duty vehicles transporting goods for local and international consumption. However, the experience for years navigating the road due to its dilapidated state has not been a pleasant one. Following the federal government's approval and release of funds for the reconstruction of the dual carriageway, which stretches about 15 kilometers, the project is gradually wearing a new look.
I've seen the progress of the work. I really appreciate federal government for their proceed to remember this road.
And we are expecting that by the conclusion of this road, the traffic of business in this area will go very well.
Chief Technical Supervising Officer from the Federal Ministry of Works, Fred Kufre, says decking, stones and sand filling, as well as other major installations are ongoing. The project is designed to feature 3 flyovers at strategic locations.
From hardcore, we will now sand fill it. After sand filling, we bring in stone base. After that, we now bring in the hard surfaces.
From the Eleme on air axis of the East-West Road, I am Joy Uzo, NTA News.
All right, we join Joy Uzo again. This time around, she's there live at that same junction. Joy, please fill us in on what you've gathered following the ongoing construction there at the Port Harcourt Eleme Road.
Okay, good afternoon. We are now at a section of the road. I'll start from the economic importance of this significant project which the federal government has embarked upon. It has been a project that has awaited the intervention of the federal government for a very long time, owing to the significant role it plays to oil and gas companies, operating in this community. It is a community that has a rich array of multinationals. We have the Indorama Petrochemical Company, we have the Port Harcourt Refinery, we have the On-Air Ports. Owing to these key industries and companies that operate in this axis. We see heavy-duty vehicles plying this road on a daily basis. However, it has been in a very deplorable state. And what we've had in time past are remedial works that do not stand the test of time. But in recent time, the federal government intervened and disbursed funds to see to the reconstruction of the two-lane road that stretches about 15 kilometers. Behind me is a makeshift bridge that served to meet the transportation needs of heavy-duty trucks that ply this road on a daily basis. Owing to the deplorable state, we have a handful of them that falls, continually. But fortunately, due to these projects, piling work for a new bridge is ongoing. And once the piling work is completed, a new bridge is going to be reconstructed to replace the very dilapidated one that we are seeing behind me here. Meanwhile, the project is going to feature 3 main flyovers. One at Akpajo Junction, one at Refinery Junction, which will play a pivotal role when the Port Harcourt refinery comes on board, and one at the Port Harcourt O'Neill Trailer Junction that will serve to meet the international trading activities that takes place at the O'Neill port on a daily basis. So it is a project that will meet the yearning of people in this area, and they cannot wait for the project to be completed speedily.
Indeed, Joy, and I'm sure that road, as significant as it is, will boost economic activities there, and I'm sure, like you rightly put it, the residents there are very excited and looking forward for the completion of the project, which is all we're waiting for. Thank you very much, Joy, for your contribution.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's move to other issues. The federal government and Oyo state government will come up with decisive action against anyone found culpable in the explosion that took place in Ibadan last week after thorough investigation. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, stated this as he leads a federal government delegation to the site of the explosion.
State government, federal government, see areas of harmonization, and of course, whatever responsibility that falls in the realm of the federal government, you can be rest assured we will discharge our obligations without let or hindrance, without fear or favor. Whoever is found to be culpable in this man-made disaster will face the wrath of the law, full weight of the law. That I can assure you. And the state government itself, so the governor.
All right, that happened earlier in the day. Following that development, guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria have re-echoed the need to intensify monitoring, handling and movement of explosive devices used for mining to mitigate the occurrence of the Ibadan explosion. Tackling proliferation of illegal mining and deepening due process, they say, is key. But Lydia Sampson will tell us more about that.
Indiscriminate mining and blasting is closely linked with security in the country. Ironically, despite layers of security checks that licensed miners are expected to undertake, some cases of lacuna in compliance allegedly exist, making key players complicit. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria reiterate the Ibadan explosion is an eye-opener with emphasis on monitoring of mining activities in the country.
It is possible that those who possess those items are legal miners who are properly licensed. But whether you are properly licensed or not, do you have a right to keep explosives of that magnitude?
This miner kept these explosives right in the house in those days when he was still in operation. And he did not own up or open up to the mines operatives so that they would have advised him in conformity with Section 62.
The mining laws inhibit storage of mining explosives in residential areas. Flagrant disregard for the law, which guests say is obsolete. They echo the need for updating the laws for stiffer penalties, not just to bring perpetrators behind Ibadan explosion to book, but as a deterrent.
We are taking the right step with all the response agency. With the situation of things now, everybody has gone to the, there's a collective decision now on what exactly to be doing now in terms of how do we check those who are really affected.
With the community still mourning and counting their losses, optimism is high that the investigations will come up with proactive measures to ensure sustainable protection and safety in the mining industry going forward. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
And more stakeholders are lending their voices, saying storage and application of explosive devices in the mining industry must be strictly monitored by government. One of such stakeholders is President Geological Society of Africa and head of Department of Geology, University of Ibadan. But I'm talking about Professor Benga Okunlola, who gave the advice today during NTA's News Panorama with my colleague Nolin Abel Ame. So here is an excerpt.
After the mining licenses are issued out, what happens? Let's take what next after the mining licenses are issued out. Of course, you have 4 years, those who have to take it for 3 years, 2 years renewable, mining leases, 20 years. Yes, those are there, but who monitors? And even if the monitoring is there, do we have enough personnel? There is no reason why any explosive material should be in any residential area. It should not be in the cities. Even when you're doing construction, and let me give it to some of the big construction companies that use explosive. They have, well, you know, most of them or many of them have, well, good storage for their magazines. I think we can copy this. So no magazines should be constructed, or no explosive material should be constructed within residential areas. 2, there should be close monitoring of miners and those who are involved in mining.
That was during Panorama, President Geology Society of Africa, talking about Professor Benga Okunlola. Still on Ibadan, but this time around we're going to the studio to meet Kemi. She has reports for us. Kemi.
Stand by. Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. Oyo State Government has concluded search and rescue operations at the Bodija explosion site. Government is set to carry out structural integrity tests on 230 houses affected by the blast. Adebola Agbaje has an update.
Evacuation of rebels from explosion sites in Ibadan ended with more valuables and human parts recovered as government opened up other investigative measures to ease pains and trauma of the victims.
That site there now, it just discovers some bone and body parts, just right now. We are still going around until it's zero ground. A lot of lives have been lost, so the God Almighty want to pray to Him to actually grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. Sad, very, very sad.
How can people keep explosive in their compound right within an estate, a residential estate, not a commercial estate? Those people should be asked questions.
As of this Monday, the Chief Medical Director, University College Hospital, Ibadan, confirmed that 6 persons have lost their lives to the explosion.
We have received 19 casualties. That's 3 of them were brought in dead. So in total now, we have treated and discharged 9 patients. Like I said, 3 were brought in dead, and we have 6 currently on admission. 1 had surgery, and there are others that may still have surgery because of broken bones chest injury.
Meanwhile, sympathizers are appealing to government to fulfill its vow of bringing perpetrators to book in Ibadan. Adebola Agbaje, NTA News.
Nigeria Customs Service has pledged its commitment to ensure that smuggled goods and weapons do not come into the country. Controller Oyo Osun Area Command Dr. Ben Oramalogu stated this while speaking on achievements of the command for year 2023 when briefing newsmen in Ibadan. Lukman tells us more.
Speaking on the successes recorded by the Oyo Osun Command for the year 2023, the controller, Dr. Ben Oramalugu, noted that they were able to rake in over 71.2 billion naira into the Federation account. Dr. Oramalugu explained that the Customs High Command, headed by the Customs Controller General Bashir Adeniyi, has always remained resolute in ensuring that commands are motivated to carry out their constitutional responsibilities. In the year under review, Oyo Osun Command of the Customs was able to make seizure of items such as timber, bags of rice, tires, cooking oils and cannabis.
During the period of 11 November to December 2023, the command intercepted and seized the following contraband goods: used bags, 1 bag, 2 sacks; used shoes, 7 bags, 2 sacks; motor vehicle, 3 units; cannabis sativa, 12 sacks; motor spirit, 11,850 liters; used tires, foreign parboiled rice, 194 by 50 kg.
Dr. Oramalugu noted that the officers and men of the Nigerian Customs Service are undeterred in carrying out their duties of protecting the nation's economy, as well as stopping firearms and weapons from entering the country to reduce crimes and criminalities. In Ibadan, Lokman Hassan, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Ruth, it's back to you.
Welcome back. The Defense Headquarters is emphasizing the application of soft power in ongoing internal security operations across the country. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, stated this in a message at the Psychological Operation course organized by the Defense Intelligence Agency in Abuja. Let's hear from Defense correspondent Ismail Musa.
Kidnapping, terrorism and secessionist agitation are security threats with adverse impact on Nigeria's socio-economic environment. Apart from the application of non-kinetic operations to combat these threats, the armed forces have adopted the use of soft power to further gain communities' trust and enhance intelligence reports for proactive operations. This national security course on psychological operations and strategic communication is focusing on winning the hearts and minds of the citizens for national security.
The intent of this program, which cuts across all ministries, departments, agencies at state and federal level, is to articulate ways to reconnect with our communities and enlighten them on the importance of lawful conduct as against the criminalities, the insurgencies and tendencies against societal norms. The government itself needs to harmonize better processes and procedures.
The intensification of non-kinetic operations in the Northeast led to the surrender of more than 6,500 terrorists with their families in 14 years.
The common philosophy of the Chief of Defense Staff, the main thrust is people-centric, people-centered.
The Defense Intelligence Agency is emphasizing holistic approach to address insecurity in the country. Experts at the ongoing course stress the need to upscale psychological warfare, a critical component of internal security operation, as it enhances success with lesser collateral damage. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
All right, we join Michael now in Lagos for some more reports from his end. Michael.
Thank you, Ruth. To combat the menace of styrofoam in the state, Lagos State government has announced a ban on the use and distribution of styrofoam and single-use plastics with immediate effect. Larry Biley, who had a chat with the State Waste Management Agency, also brings us reactions of Lagos residents.
Moshood, a trader, and Aisha Muhammad, a street food hawker, and other Lagos residents bear their minds on the state government's decision.
Lagos state government banned it, so we will not use it again. I'll be using plastic to sell, then I'll tell my customers that we cannot use this one again, but that plastic one is for sale.
I don't even like it. I prefer the plastic. Unless I didn't see the plastic, I would just try and manage.
But it's not only this, even all these drinks, all these canned drinks, that want to happen inside the quarter. That was a lot of than this one. But if they don't want to ban it, it's okay, let them ban it.
Styrofoam is a petroleum-based polymer, also known as closed-cell extruded polystyrene foam. This clamshelled designed polystyrene is common in Lagos, especially with street food hawkers to sell to customers on the go. And as a result of its non-perishable nature, it has become a menace to environment, clogging drainage channels in the city. Styrofoams are non-biodegradable. That has become a huge challenge for State's Waste Management Agency. This prompted the Lagos State government to ban the usage of styrofoam in the state.
When Lagos Waste Management Authority goes out clearing waste in the environment, we find that a larger proportion of that waste is in form of these styrofoam packs and other single-use plastics. In addition to clogging the drains and causing flooding, they also have toxic effects.
Loma Boss said advocacy programs will be initiated at the communities, markets and religious centers with a view to enlighten Lagosians before the rainy season starts. In Lagos, Lanre Bilayi, NTA News.
The Director General, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, has debunked an online publication stating that paracetamol tablets in circulation in Nigeria are underdosed. The DG stated this in Lagos. Dana Jale reports.
Following the recent report circulating on social media by a publisher that paracetamol tablets in Nigeria are underdosed, the agency has conducted a comprehensive test of the tablets to investigate the claims. Samples were collected from different pharmacy outlets in Lagos and Abuja.
Unlike 2 tablets that was used to do their testing, we used internationally recognized standards. We used 20 tablets from each manufacturer for the assay analysis. This was done by regulatory officers with verifiable analytical skills and competencies using British Pharmacopoeia Monograph 2023 edition, Volume 3.
The DG assured Nigerians that the 20 tablets of paracetamol sampled met 100% pass rate, validated using British Pharmacopoeia testing methodologies for precise and reliable assessment of the dosage levels.
We assured the public that we will publish the result of our own investigation of the paracetamol tablets in Nigeria immediately we conclude testing in the agency's WHO pre-qualified laboratory.
The DG reaffirms the agency's commitment to protecting public health and safety while ensuring quality of products. The agency has also promised to continue to work with manufacturers and other stakeholders to uphold and enhance the quality of pharmaceutical products in Nigeria. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. It's now back to Ruth for the continuation of the news.
Thank you very much, Michael. The Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, NAFDAC, and the Cross River State Government have agreed to work out modalities to revive the moribund Tinapa Free Trade Zone owned by the state. The agreement was reached during a courtesy visit by NAFDAC's Managing Director, Olufemi Ogunyemi, to Governor Basi Otu in Calabar. Ogunyemi expressed delight on the state's desire to revamp the unique free trade zone established to service the entertainment industry. He, however, urged the state government to upscale its interest and participation at the Calabar Free Trade Zone. adding that such involvement was vital to the overall promotion and preservation of the place and tackle illegal tax operators in the state, whose actions discourage access to incentives. The NAFDAC Act had granted free zone operators within the zones. The governor, who was represented by his deputy Peter Ode, assured of the state's cooperation with the authority. The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria has released 23 varieties of seeds for planting in Nigeria. Now, this is coming as the federal government prioritizes research and innovation in the country's food production system. Musa Baba Aliyu has that good news for us.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations has advised countries to invest more in agricultural innovation towards attaining food security. It is in line with this that Nigerian government appropriated 362.9 billion naira for agriculture this year. Minister of Finance and that of Budget and Planning have recently said more windows for intervention will be opened for the ministry towards attaining food self-sufficiency.
And that leads to reduction of poverty, creation of jobs, and a much more stable economy.
I think when we have people that are gainfully employed and their livelihoods are enhanced, then the rule of law will come into play, insecurity will fade out, and corruption, so food security, economic growth, job creation, access to capital, because this is what we have been talking about.
And the Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria says it's enjoying support from the Ministry of Agriculture in carrying out its duties. The Executive Secretary of the agency, Professor Garba Hamidu Sharubutu, said improved seed varieties that are resistant to pests and diseases as well as drought were developed.
The federal government approved the recruitment of 1,650 scientists to boost the staff strength in the area of research. Particularly the instruction is for us to recruit breeders, to recruit those that are going to bring about the genetic improvement of our local crops.
Professor Sharubutu therefore encourages farmers to adopt new innovations and modern technology in their farming activities for their social-economic well-being and that of the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And still in agriculture is one of the pillars upon which the nation's economy thrives. But the participation of young people who are not only energetic but constitute the bulk of the workforce of the nation is abysmally low in the sector and therefore concerning. In this report, Ebinimi Zetimiola x-rays the situation and proposes measures to improve youth participation to ensure food sufficiency, create jobs and boost the economy.
The discovery of crude oil in commercial quantity and it becoming the mainstay of the nation's economy, Nigeria had relied on agricultural produce as a foreign exchange earnings. Today, agriculture is now left largely in the hands of a few, mostly those advanced in age and not knowledgeable in modern farming techniques.
We have food insufficiency, and it has become necessary for the youths, the energetic people, to be involved in agriculture, to take over agriculture.
Don't need stress when it comes to carrying cutlass and other things. But when you come with all these tractors that clear farms, youth will be so much delighted to work with those machines.
To meet the Sustainable Development Goals Vision 2030 agenda on food security, nutrition and sustainable agriculture, urgent reorientation of Nigeria youth towards commercial farming and encouraging a society where agriculture occupies a pride of place has become necessary.
There are a lot of benefit in agriculture. At least, if you are into poultry, much is there. Cassava, the different sectors in agriculture.
Nigerian youths are very hardworking. They venture into many things.
It's just that the opportunity is not there.
Public and private sector partnerships are another way to encouraging young people to grow the agricultural sector for sustained economic development and to create more jobs. Enyenegwa, Ebinimi, Zitemiola, NTA.
Residents of Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, and its environs have appealed to the federal government to hasten the completion of the much-anticipated Damaturu regional water supply to ease their suffering in accessing potable drinking water. The project was initiated by the state government. That was in 2006, and work stopped after a year after the commencement, with the federal government earmarking 8.4 billion naira for the continuation of the project. That was in 2021. Adam Yusuf reports that work has since stopped after about 80% completion, prompting beneficiaries to seek intervention from the authority concerned.
The Yobe state capital is among major towns in the country that is facing water scarcity over the years, as most of the towns largely depend private water vendors on a daily basis as their means of water sources. The recent intervention by the federal government through the award of new water supply project scheme in Damaturu that will connect the entire metropolis and surroundings with potable drinking water will go for about 8.5 billion naira, which many describe as a right step to ensuring adequate water supply to the people. Some residents who spoke to NTA decried over the slow pace of the ongoing project and called on the federal government to do all that it can to ensure completion of the project in good time.
We want federal government, please, to intervene. We are really happy with the project, but now the project has stopped.
When NTA News sought to know the completion level of the project at the Mulfakalam Water Distribution Center, it reveals that 85% of the project was completed, while that of Susuma Water Project is already completed, as the center pumps about 3 million liters of water daily to Yobe State Water Corporation for onward distribution to the people. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf, NTA News.
All right, let's join Adam Yusuf again. This time around, he joins us live there at Damaturu to give us an update on the regional water project there for the people. Adam, please go ahead.
Good day. The Damaturu regional water supply project was awarded at the cost of 8.5 billion naira in 2006 to ensure potable drinking water to the people in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. The project, if completed, is expected to pump about 10 million liters of water and is done in 3 lots. Lot A, which is in Malamatari, the eastern part of Yobe, is awarded at the cost of 3.7 billion naira. The Lot B, which is in Mulfakaram, the southwestern part of Yobe, was awarded at the cost of 2.4 billion naira, which is southwestern part of the state. And then the Lot C, which is in Susuma, was awarded at the cost of 2.3 billion naira and in the northern part of Yobe. The projects suffered some setbacks due to insufficient funding and the activities of the insurgency at that time. And now the residents are calling on the federal government to intensify the speed completion of the projects as they take long distances before they can get potable drinking water, and at times they have to buy from vendors at exorbitant prices. The non-governmental organizations and the African Development Bank have done a lot in Yobe State in ensuring and providing potable drinking water to the people, but the rising population in the state is more than the available sources of water. So this mega project, if completed, will supply millions of people with potable drinking water in the state capital.
Right, Adam Yusuf, thank you very much for that update. I'm sure residents of Damaturu, they are looking forward to that because it is important that they have potable drinking water. Let's hope that the authority concerned, like you rightly stated, will do the needful as soon as possible. Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
All right, we want to take you back to the Ibadan issue. Of course, it's a burning issue for the nation right now. Our correspondent is standing by live there. I'm talking about Kende Omolosho. He's at the location of the explosion site in Ibadan. He wants to give us an update regarding the visit. We told you earlier that the presidential delegation visited the state earlier today, talking about Dele Alake, who led the delegation. So can they please fill us in regarding that federal government high delegation visit to the site?
Thank you, Ruth. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, was at the scene of the explosion, and he expressed shock at what he saw there. The minister promised that the federal government will get to the root of the matter, and those involved will be made to face the wrath of the law. The minister left there and went to the University College Hospital, Ibadan, where he sympathized with victims of the blast. He promised that the federal government will assist them and pray that that they recover very, very soon. The minister has left the University College Hospital for the governor's office, where from he will be leaving Ibadan back to Abuja.
Okay, Kende, I don't know you. I'm sure you've been following the story or the development happening there. Were there issues raised, for the delegation of the federal government? I'm talking about residents around the explosion, people, victims rather, who have been affected, or the community people. What were their concerns when they saw the federal government delegation there?
Yeah, the residents of Ibadan, especially those who live in the estate where the incident happened, were very, very happy, and they felt relieved that the federal government felt their plight and is there to sympathize with them. They believe that action will be taken now that the federal government delegation has come, and coupled with the fact that the state government is assisting them in offsetting medical bills and providing succor for those who are involved in the sad incident. Also, the minister promised that tests to be done to validate the status of the various houses involved in the bomb blast.
Kende, can you hear me?
All right, thank you very much, Ruth.
All right, thank you for that update. And from Ibadan, let's just cross over to Maiduguri. Ladidi Musa is up next. She has some reports for us.
Good and welcome to Maiduguri. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum says all internally displaced persons camps will be closed down before the end of his administration, as government is poised to resettle all displaced communities. The governor stated this when he took the resettlement project to Logomani in Ngala local government as part of one-day engagement in Dikwa Emirates. Mohamed Goni reports.
9 years of displacement had led to deterioration of the mostly mud houses in this community, in response to which Borno State government constructed 500 houses allocated to the 500 returning heads of households. In addition to the houses, each head of household also received a bull and a cow, a bag each of rice and maize and household items, as well as 50,000 naira, while each of their spouses received 20,000 naira. The beneficiaries described their resettlement on their ancestral homes as a pleasing development, having stayed in IDP's camp for close to a decade. Governor Babagana Umar Zulum appreciated the federal government and donor partners for contributing to the Stabilization Strategy Fund through UNDP and urged the returnees to develop resilience by remaining in their community and engage in livelihood activities.
We are trying to address the root causes of the insurgency, which is reducing poverty. People who are living in the IDP are living in the IDP camp for about a decade, depending on handouts from governmental and non-governmental organizations. And this is not sustainable. Today we have seen a sustainable solution, which is resettlement of people back to their communities in a dignified manner.
Shehu of Dikwa, Ibrahim Ibn Umar Ibrahim El Kanemi, Senator representing Borno Central Kakashau Lawan, Member representing Bamangala Kala Belge Zainab Jimba, Member representing Gala Bukar Abacha, and Gala Local Government Caretaker Chairman Abdurrahman Abdul Karim collectively expressed gratitude to Governor Zulum for the passion to resettle all displaced communities and urged the returnees to reciprocate the gesture by being committed to a better post-insurgency life in their community. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
Boseg has presented a certificate of return to the newly elected chairman and vice chairman in the state. This marks a crucial stage in the post-insurgency recovery phase of the state for good governance and development to thrive. Zainab Adam reports.
Following
the successful conduct of the local government council elections and the completion of collation of results, the State Independent Electoral Commission has issued certificate of return to the candidates for proper stewardship in the post-insurgency recovery phase of the state. Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur, represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Bukar Tijani, says with unity, the elected representatives can develop the council to achieve the desired objectives of the state.
Elections at local government level is one of the most difficult, but in Borno, Alhamdulillah, with all thanks to Almighty Allah, we were able to do this.
Executive Chairman of the Commission, Lawan Maina Mahmoud, urged the elected Chairman and Vice Chairman to reciprocate the confidence reposed in them by ensuring that development thrives across all the local government areas.
To urge and appeal to the winners of this election to extend hands of fellowship and magnanimity to other aspirants who lost the election to ensure peace, tranquility and progress in their local government areas.
The elected chairman pledged commitment to serve their people diligently. In Maiduguri, Zainab Adam, NTA News.
That does it from the home of peace. Nationwide continues in Benin after this time out. To stay.
Welcome back. We apologize. Unfortunately, we can't join Benin Network Center. We'll just pick up as we bring you the excitement from the ongoing AFCON and other sports update.
Matches are live on NTA Sports and NTA Network Service. With Sports Update, I'm Austin Damaturu, NTA News.
And we're done with Nationwide. Thank you for your time. Do have a very good evening. I'm Ruth Aguilera.
Thank you.